Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 5th of January. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a look at ETFs, where we are now coming up and testing declining resistance. Not quite as exactly as it appears on my short-term charts, but this is the flag setup I was talking about on Friday. It hasn't broken up yet, but it's definitely thinking about it. It's NQ. NQ, the head and shoulders actually failed before it went down and made the target, but nonetheless, we've done a retracement. This was the line where the IHS was going to fail. It did not reach that line, so I'm leaning towards this being a bull flag as well. Maybe a little oversized for it, but really I'm expecting a return to these recent highs, and then very possibly a test of the all-time highs. At least I'm not seeing anything to suggest that won't happen. RTY, this is a nice looking flag. No question about it. We're halfway back to the, slightly more than halfway back to resistance. I'd like to see this flag break up and head back up into a retest of the high. On YM, YM, overall, I think this is a flag, and of course we've now made a lower low. I don't have a great trend line for that. But nonetheless, this is an okay looking bull flag setup as well, and I'm leaning towards that making target with 6-minute buy signal here has reached the possible near miss target. DAX making new highs, STX making new highs, we're already seeing that happening here. The question is what's going to happen on US equities, and I'm still pretty happy with the scenario that I was laying out on Friday. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture. And okay, looking at the daily middle bands first, we closed slightly well. The daily middle band closed at basically 6857, and the close was at 6858. Now this wasn't a break back above with conviction. However, it was a close back above, even if it was really a close on the daily middle band rather than really above it. But what this wasn't was a confirmation of a break to the downside. Now, ES did confirm the break to the downside with a move below it, but I'd always take the SPX reading over over ES. On Qs, we closed significantly below. So we're still waiting for action on that. But on Dire, which was of the three that had broken down, Dire closed significantly back above. That was a clear rejection back above. SPX didn't confirm the break below. Only Qs confirmed the break below. So it wasn't a complete rejection, but it was nonetheless reasonably bullish. In terms of the hourly chart, hourly RSI 5 buy signal fixed on SPX, finding some support at the obvious support level here, but of course we did break that very, very, very slightly, but not really by much. We've got a weak RSI 14 buy signal fixed on 15 minutes, so we've got some nice positive divergence here. RSI 5 buy signal on Qs made the possible near miss targets. We've still got we've got a 15-minute buy signal here, but that made the possible near miss target as well. Looking at Dire, we had an RSI 5 buy signal at the low, and that made target. And looking here, I've got this as a rather nice looking descending triangle, which in this particular context I would be reading as a bull flag. So this is looking pretty good, and I'm liking it up into a retest of this high, so we'll see. All right, having a look at IWM. Now, we were already well below the daily middle band here, but it looks as though we might be coming back up into a back test of the daily middle band, which I've got at 250.79. If we can break back above that, then that'll be looking pretty good to the upside. Here we've got pretty decent looking. I had two options for the flag here. We could have come down and formed a flag channel, but at the moment this flag wedge support is holding pretty nicely, and we've still got a weak RSI 14 buy signal fixed. In terms of the 15-minute chart, RSI 14 buy signal reached the possible near miss target, and this is a nice flag. All it's got to do really is break up. So we shall see. I was a little concerned that after the Venezuelan special military operation that the markets might not like it, but I wasn't thinking there was much reason. I was talking yesterday and thinking there wasn't a lot of reason to think that the market would respond negatively, and it hasn't. So at the moment, everything appears to still be on track. DAX, obvious next target would be a retest of the all-time high, and on Nikkei, pretty obvious next target would still be a retest of the all-time high. It might be that it's not a great triangle, but it's not awful either. I'm thinking that's the obvious next target. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at DX. Now, DX, I was talking about the possibility that we might see a break back up, and the double bottom we've got on DX has broken up. That's broken up with a target in the 99.35 to 99.43 area, and is looking pretty nice. Now, we've got possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, but we can just go through that. I'm quite liking this. I was talking about the support for this on the other indices, which is we've got, on the other instruments, which is we've got a nice double top on Euro, which is now broken down with a target in the 116 area. GBP USD has broken down from the rising wedge there. USD CAD hasn't done a lot, but USDJPY rather. But USD CAD, we had an IHS which broken up, and that's actually now made target. So hang on, wait a second. Which target? This is all reasonably bullish, and I'm quite liking. I'm liking the prospects for dollar going higher and rejecting back higher. I'm not convinced. I've been talking about on the bigger picture about my not being convinced that we've got real legs on dollar to the upside, but we've still got a very nice bullish setup, and we haven't reached the level. We haven't reached the stage where there is a large loss of confidence yet. But I'm thinking at this rate, we may well reach that. We shall see. All right, looking at ZB. ZB, just going sideways here, really. We've got a bear flag. It's broken down. We've got a target in a target at a retest of the December low. And, of course, if we continues down, we've got a large head and shoulders, which is broken down with a target in the 112.04 area. ZN, watching this triangle, getting pretty close to triangle support, which I've got in about the 112.02 area, and looking for it to reach that. We shall see. So hang on. Where's it? Sorry, just got a slight sniffle today. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Looking at CL, I've been watching this because with this new special military operation in Venezuela, such as that is, because at the moment there seems to be the administration seems to be taking the view that they're now handing out orders to Venezuela. I'm not sure the Venezuelan government knows that by the look of it. So, but we'll see how that develops. But here we saw a little bit of a pullback and a bit of a rally, but in effect, I don't think there's much of an impact at all. And really, there's not much reason there would be. I was looking on HO for a full retest of this low, and we've seen it. On RBOB, I was looking for a full retest of this low, and we've seen it. This means that we've got a couple of double bottoms in play, and I'm watching with interest to see what happens here. NG, I was looking for a full retest this low, and we've seen it. Now, we could just continue down, and I'm thinking we might well just continue down, but we have a potential double bottom, which I'm watching here. And if this double bottom was to break up, the target would be a full retest of 5, which would certainly be a big reversal from here. Watching that with interest, may well just fall instead. So GC, I was talking about the possibility that we were forming an IHS here, and it's nice. And it's now broken up, and it's broken up with a target in the 45.50 area. If we get there, could be forming a larger flag, maybe, and make a lower low, and within that flag. But the obvious next target would probably be a retest of the all-time high. On SI, this kind of looks like a consolidation, which is breaking up towards a retest of the all-time high. On Palladium, we've got a nice looking little IHS here, which when I capped it earlier, it hadn't broken up yet, but it has broken up now. And this is broken up with a target in about the 2000 area. So this would be taking us back pretty close to a retest of the all-time high. So, and here on Platinum, we got a possible bull flag setup, which has broken up. Could be forming an IHS here too. This would be, hang on, bear with me a second. But obviously a theme is developing here, which is that we might be about to see retest of the highs across the board. Now, one thing I was saying on the bigger picture yesterday was that even if we are going to see a large retracement, I'd kind of be leaning towards seeing retest of the all-time highs, and we are. That's a lovely looking IHS here, actually, and that would have a target basically back up at a retest of the high. So now, if we are going to see a large retracement here, and there's always a possibility of it, I'm thinking that precious metals are looking damn good for this year, and I'm leaning towards more upside. I've been reading quite a lot about we're due another pullback, and we could see one, but it's hard to tell when those start. This would be a possibility, but the question is, when we get back up into the retest of the highs, we see a inflection point there, and then it either continues higher or we see a larger retracement. I'd be leaning towards a continuation higher, but don't necessarily have to see that. HG, we've gone back up and retested the high, and we have a potential double top here. So watching that there. But this is kind of what I'm expecting to see across the board here on metals. And we will see. Do I think there's a big case for a pullback on metals? No, I'm not really seeing an awful lot. So we could. It's something we could see. It's but really, in the absence of other evidence, I'm thinking we probably just continue higher. In terms of where we are on silver, is one of my ones I've been watching and thinking for years that this should go a lot higher. But I mean, I was talking to a friend of my daughter's years ago, and I was waxing lyrical on what I thought the prospects for silver were. But I was talking about a price in the 200 to 300 area. We haven't reached that area yet, and I think that's actually quite credible. No, I think it might take years to reach it. But nonetheless, that's what I was talking about then. And I've not really seen much change my mind since. Obviously, we've finally managed to get out of the 20s and do some serious damage to the upside, but there's nothing really suggesting this upside is finished. All right, looking at KC. KC, we've got, I think we may well be forming a larger bear flag here, but I think not really looking for a breakup here, not really seeing a reversal pattern here. On SB, this still looks like an overall bear flag forming. On CC, this may be a bull flag forming. Keeping an open mind, we didn't make this double top target. I think we're forming a pattern, and at the moment we got a lower low here. I'm thinking this is a bull flag or a triangle forming, both of which would tend to lean towards at least a retest of this high here. Looking at CT. CT, we've got nice looking double bottom, hasn't broken up yet. Lumber, this looks like another overall bull flag here, and I'm thinking that this, if it is a bear flag rather. So if this is a bear flag, then it is likely already broken down. Sorry, hang on a second. Sometimes it's a little harder. Right, got it. Okay. Yeah. That flag would be breaking down now. I'm thinking this goes back into the lows. We could have a double bottom there for a larger retracement, but it wouldn't surprise me a bit if it actually just continued to the downside. Because bigger picture, I think that's where this is going. And I was saying that obviously in terms of copper, then apparently that's being used in large amounts in the data centers. That same does not apply to lumber. So lumber, I'm really seeing no reason for this to be going up at all. In terms of wheat, hang on one second. Sorry, I just got the color wrong on that. All right, in terms of wheat, we've retested the low as expected, and this is a potential double bottom. So watching this with interest here. Inflection point. This could just continue down. On corn, this is an interesting one because this has come back and it's retested this trend line. No, it's not quite the trend line that I was looking at. I think this comes from, hang on a second. Right, I think we would be starting there. There we are. And you see, we have a perfect trend line there. Now, the question is, what's forming here? The obvious lean would be that this is actually a triangle forming. It could be potentially a channel, but I don't think it is. I'm right, it isn't. So there is a channel there, but we're already we've already failed to reach the top. I think this is an overall triangle forming, in which case it would have a lean to the upside. We'll see how that goes. On soy, we've gone lower, no obvious reversal pattern here. We've almost made it back to retest these lows, and I think it would look neater if we actually made it back down here into about the 1027 area. This is all basically, this was all China is going to buy 12 million tons of soy, and this is all China hasn't actually bought 12 million tons of soy. So we had a rise on something which didn't happen, and that's more or less been all given back. But it's not quite been all been given back. I think there may be more. I think a larger overall bear flag may be forming here on ZL, and if so, I'd be leaning towards seeing a bit of a higher high here, maybe get up into the 50 area, possibly a test of the monthly pivot at 50, and then after that, I'm thinking we go down and retest the low. The double bottom is not, I'm not favouring the chances of the double bottom making target at the moment. That's not looking great. Looking at live cattle, we have broken up. I was saying I didn't think this was a double top, and we have broken up over the new week to pivot. So waiting to see where that goes. No current negative divergence. HE, I think this is a bullish consolidation. This is a little triangle or a flag here, and I think the next move will be up, and we've got support at the monthly pivot at 83.64. Okay, let's have a look at questions. All right, we have no questions. I'm not seeing anything to suggest that we're not going to run the playbook that I was looking at on Friday. We still need to see a couple of breaks up, need to see some more upside action, but everything I'm seeing here this morning is suggesting that we are going to see that. So we shall see. All right, great. My pleasure as always, guys. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Cheers.